1967, no-till was new, pretty much nationwide, I guess, at that time. And I had a neighbor that was, he's deceased now, but anyway, he bought a 4-row Oliver no-till corn planter, and I thought, well, I'm going to try this too, so I did, and didn't know much about it then. And anyway, I planted the field, and it didn't do very well because I didn't have good control over my weeds and my grasses that was in that field. And so my father said we was farming together, and of course I was in school, I was farming for him, I guess you might say, at that time. And anyway, he said next year, we're going to work that field up and do it conventional. So we did, and the yield almost doubled that year, and I thought, man, I won't never be able to do this again, you know. So, but anyway, I did, and they say it's about 2 years later then, I said, I'm going to try it again. Of course, I went to some seminars and studied on it some, and whenever I did try it this time, I did it with wheat and crimson clover as my cover crop. And the yields is dry that year, and the yields just was excellent, and our conventional fields didn't do near as good. So my dad, he was an older gentleman when I was born, and anyway, he said, we're going to start no-tilling all the time. I like this. So anyway, that really got me going, and I guess that was in 70 probably, 69 or 70 that year. And anyway, so the next time, I had another neighbor, and he had a House Chandler 4-row planter, and I had him to come. Not that the planters was any difference, they both done a good job. But anyway, so he planted that field, and it done real good too. So, but then I said, I'm going to buy a planter myself. So I had got a job, got out of high school, and had a little extra money, and so I bought a John Deere 4-row planter, and that was in 1974. And I still use that same planter today. It's 41 years old, and the crop I'm standing in now is a crop that's planted with it. And anyway, so I do that. I continue to do everything no-till. I don't do any conventional. But this field I'm standing in now, with the help of NRCS, we used 5 different species of cover crop on it, and it's worked real well. I also did about twice this many more acres with the same blend on my own without their help. But I do appreciate the help. It's a continuation of what I've been doing for 40-something years in cover crops, but not this many species as we're doing now. But I see that the more species you've got, the better it does, as far as it gives you more of a cover. It brings in more of the earthworms, and you know, the organic matter is just immense, and it's just a plus all the way around. This field here that I'm standing in now, that I had the help on, we planted it, and when we first planted it, we came out, and we could see almost immediately that the earthworms and seemed like they were just coming out of the woodwork or out of the woods or out of the edges of the field and moving their way across the field, you know. And they're primarily all over it now, and they're all beneficial. They actually help break down the organic matter so that it makes more fertilizer available to the crop that you have planted. So it's another plus that I think more farmers should look into. In doing this, is also it helps keep your water clean, and erosion is nil on as far as erosion goes, and it's just plus. I mean, I knew that already, and this is even better than what I have been doing. So you know, I recommend it to any farmer. You don't have to use near as much fertilizer. That's one of the things that it's really, especially when fertilizer is real high and everything like it is today, with all the organic matter, and it's breaking down with the earthworms and everything. You got this fertilizer that you're growing that's pretty much free. I mean, you've got a little input into it, but not that much for the amount of tons of fertilizer that you're available to your plants, and it only increases every year as you no-till. These beans here I put down like, it couldn't have been over like 40 units of phosphate and potash, and that's all I put. And that was per acre of commercial fertilizer. and it was broadcast. Sometime I put in row fertilized, but this was actually broadcast this time. So it's it's a plus every way you turn on this, and it only gets better because you continue to do it. And it's fuel saving is great on it. The fuel saving on this is great because you don't have all those trips over your field plowing and turning and disking, and and fuel, when fuel cost is high, fuel's down a little bit now, but it's any way you can cut. You actually ain't cutting corners. You are, but you're not, because you're gaining your grounds building all the time. Even though you're taking all these tons off, your soil's getting better all the time. And you can't say that but conventional, because you kill all this every time you work it. Conventional, you kill all this good stuff you've got here going for you. So, and another thing that I might point out is on the chemicals that you have to use. You don't have to use near as much, because this organic matter, it's waist high on up under your shoulders sometimes, and when it dies and falls down, it suppresses the weeds, so you don't have to do near as much chemicals either. So I mean, that's a plus for environment, plus for your pocketbook in the bottom line. With my soil health, as far as on my cattle operation too, I also have the water tanks so that I can have water in multiple fields, so I can do rotational grazing, and I do that extensively with my cattle. The availability of clean water to the different areas is, I just didn't realize it was so much. I've done away with most of my ponds. I do have one in the forest where I don't have water tanks. It's just a whole different ball game. You don't have as many parasites. You don't have to get your cattle up and work them near as much, because they're drinking clean water, and the fields are cleaner because you're rotating them. It gives them a chance to rest between fields, and that's another plus. Someone's done their homework to come up with these things.